Okay, now we're into the garden, and God, Diddy, I mean, this is huge. Again, this is, don't be overwhelmed with the the space is. I just want you to. I'm going to ask a lot of questions to Diddy about the maintenance of the soil. We cover the compost and why she choose to organize the garden like this. So
Okay, so when we were talking about the CSA and doing vegetables on the commercial level, where you see all the greenery around the edge here,
that's right.
that is clover.
Oh, wow.
Was
Okay.
before it was there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. Now we only have 3. We have 1, 2, and these 2 together.
Okay.
And the idea now is, because we are getting older and we don't want to have a lot of woofers and interns helping us, because it does take a lot of help when you want the whole thing planted up. I've brought everything down so that we can manage, my husband and I. And what I've done is we've got a 3-year cycle. So this is our current vegetable patch. These have only got 9 rows in each, whereas the ones above, but north of us, have got 16 rows in each. So I'm using 2 sections this year's garden, and then this will be next year's, and that will be the year after. That was last year's, where all the weeds are.
So you rotate.
Yes, so what will happen right now, what I've done, is I've put buckwheat into next year's garden.
Oh,
Okay, and it's just beginning to come up. We've had no rain, so it's not that great.
so why is the
Buckwheat is a green manure.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and what will I do? And in the fall, when this grows up to about this high, it'll flower. And at that point, I'll take all the mulch. This is mulch,
That's right.
and I'll cover it.
So Diddy, you're using green manure. You're using the chicken.
Not yet. Yes,
Oh.
I will. But
Okay.
right now, it hasn't had anything done for 2 years. Okay. So this year, because this is the year before it's going to be used as the garden. So I'm putting the buckwheat in first.
Okay.
Then I'll get covered so it doesn't have the chance to go to seed. And then in the fall, I'll take the mulch off again, put the manure down, or compost, sorry, the compost, and I will claw it. Now clawing I don't use a tiller in here, I just use a claw, and it's a stand up. I'll show you one later on. You push it in and you turn this way and that way. So it's basically, it does that to the soil. So it kind of mixes without making a big production.
So, but what happened if
Well,
you
a
use
tiller does a big. It does
interfere with the soil.
Yeah, it
thing?
ruins the ecosystem. The
Oh.
whole ecosystem has to reorganize itself after you've used a tiller.
Okay.
Whereas with the claw, I'm hoping, although it does do some disarranging, it does help keep things not too far apart, because as you turn the claw, you turn it back again. So the idea is you loosen it just enough, you bring back that soil to where it was.
And Diddy, you mentioned a few weeks ago that you put in more. This is very important, because this is what's going on right now with agriculture, that we're not nourishing the soil as much as we should. I mean, the care of the soil is so important.
Yeah, it's the
so
key.
you're giving in more to the soil
Absolutely.
that you're taking out. Is
Absolutely,
that-
it's
okay.
really important. And when I do the rotation, like up till now, I've been having the whole garden planted. So I have taken great care to indicate on a piece of paper exactly what is being grown in every single row every year. And so when I plan the following year, then I take care of, was it a heavy feeder or a light feeder or a soil builder that was planted the year before. And depending, because a heavy feeder follows the soil builder and a light feeder follows the heavy feeder.
That's right.
And then you get the soil builder after the light feeder. So that's that. I'm not having to do that though now, because I leave last year's is totally fallow. It's going to stay fallow like that, full of weeds. I'm going to cover it up shortly when I finish planting my veggie garden. The biggest weeds I'll remove because they're too big. The rest I'm just going to cover with mulch. See, this one here is only, it's still like this because I I mulched it last winter because I've got carrots under there.
Oh, okay.
I left them under in the earth for winter, for spring, but I never did dig them up in the end.
But do
They'd
you
all
have a
rotted.
arugula? Like it looks
Yeah,
like arugula.
there's arugula and there's cilantro that's come up from last year.
Okay.
But this will get totally covered. You won't be able to see the ground at all. See, we have those bales of hay back
That's
there.
right.
In fact, this is all going to be, all the pathways are going to get mulched. Everything, this whole garden will be totally brown other than the growing plants.
So Didi, this will be covered, like you won't use this part.
No, this won't have anything done to it this year at all, other than just being covered with mulch. So it has a chance just to be.
So when do you cover, when is it going to
Well,
be
as soon
covered?
as I finish doing the planting. I had hoped to do it sooner.
So I had a question, like why do you have so much red clover on the edge?
Because
are you gonna use
I
it?
want to put something in there that is nourishing the earth. So whoever buys the property, if they want to expand and do the whole of it, then we have everything ready. They've got something that's nurturing the soil, and they'll be able to carry on.
Wow.
Originally, I was going to cut it and use it for mulch, but it doesn't. Red clover doesn't have enough substance to it. Like it needs to be straw.
That's right. Okay. And okay, so what else? So what have you Have you started to plant anything yet in the garden?
Everything's all planted up. All these
Okay.
rows are planted. This is garlic.
Okay.
These are onions.
Okay.
The potatoes are coming through just. See how it's covered with mulch?
Oh, that's right.
Potatoes come through that.
Okay.
And then here we've got spinach,
Okay.
but they're just babies. This is just chard.
So is it and while it's growing, do you add any compost to it?
No,
like
no,
this
no,
summer?
no, 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 no.
You're not
No,
gonna
no,
do
no.
anything? No.
The compost is added in the fall
Okay.
of the year before. You're going to use it.
So like for myself, when I use the compost, I wouldn't use the compost on my garden, when it's ready.
No, 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 no.
Oh, really?
You need to do it in the fall,
Okay.
so ready for next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So see, I learned something here. That's why we have Didi. So anything else, Didi? What do
Yeah,
we
well,
have?
we've got beans and peas, and
Okay.
well, we haven't put the netting up yet.
Okay.
You see, we have drip irrigation here, so we've got some lettuce at the top end.
So Didi, for someone who wants to really start a garden but want to keep it small, that for me, this garden would be like a
Too
dream
big.
country.
It's too big, really.
No, but with something eventually, as I get more comfortable, I have a small garden, and you saw the video. But for someone who's just starting the garden, what would be one or two advice would you recommend? Taking care of the soil to begin with.
Yeah. Start small. Start really small. I started with a patch. I just did a few potatoes, just to try, because I'd never grown anything much.
That's right.
So start small and experiment.
And have fun with it. And this
Have fun.
this
Oh yeah,
is a new
here's the
one.
claw.
Yeah.
There's the claw.
Yeah,
This is
a
the
good one.
action.
And what this it is just kind of rotate?
Yeah,
or
it turns it
not
this way
rotate?
and then that way.
Okay.
And so that's about it. There's so much more I can tell you.
Well,
Unfortunately, we probably spent enough time.
we spent 2 hours last time together, and I really learned. Like I said, I can't really take the credit for a lot of things that I know about gardening. But what I do is I ask people that have a lot of experience in gardening, and instead of of course I read some books, but there's nothing like someone who's got a lot of experience. And Didi, like you mentioned, this is taking care of the soil is crucial, and it's also passion. You love doing this, otherwise you wouldn't spend that time in the garden. So anything else, Didi, that you would like to add to?
No.
Yeah.
Good luck and have fun.
Exactly. Well, thank you. This is
And talk to your plants.
So
yes.
what do you say to your plants?
Well, I just I'm one with them. I
Exactly.
just focus totally when I'm in the garden. I try not to let my thoughts go rushing around. Try and just focus.
Focus. Thank you, Didi. I truly enjoy it.
You're welcome.